Dr. John Geyer visited Bryant on the Alabama campus.
Do you think you're a great football coach?
I used to be one of the best. But now I'm not a good football coach. I don't even coach football. Coaching is teaching. My staff does. I coach people. And I'm pretty good at that. I know what it takes to win. If I can sell them on what it takes to win, but we're not going to lose too many games. To get them ready to play, and if they're not ready, I fell down. If he's not ready to play on Saturday, I either shouldn't have recruited him, or I didn't do a good job preparing him, or I didn't have him ready to play that day mentally. The thing I try to do is not make the same mistake I've made before. And I have made so many mistakes. I've been in it so long and made so many mistakes. If I don't make the same mistake over, we're going to come pretty close to winning. There's something else I'd do, and I think if Salesman or anybody else did this, it'd be good. If you go out and if you lose, boy, you can't wait to get home and study those film and see why you lost and this, that, and the other. If we win a game, I go back and play the game mentally again and see what I did to contribute to winning the game. See what kind of job I did. And you'd be surprised at the times our team won in spite of me.
Is work fun for you?
Work's fun. I love to go to practice. I get a thrill every time I walk on that field. I think, good Lord, every day I walk on that field. I get a big kick out when I go to the game. And when the game's over, it's a big letdown to me. Just a big game, a bowl or something. It takes me 3 or 4 days for it to sink in.
What kind of mental attitude do you want your players to have going into the game?
Well, I'd like for them to feel confident. I'd like for them to be coiled and ready to spring. I don't want them going out there afraid they're going to make a mistake. I want them going out there, they're confident, reckless, arrogant, but show their class. They do all the things I'm talking about.
The Alabama-Auburn confrontation was more than an intrastate rivalry. It was the focus of the national media. And Bryant, the cynosure, appeared embarrassed by the attention. For Bear perceived victory not as a me thing, but rather as a we thing. Alabama, a 12-point favorite, was forced to punt on its first possession.
Hey, Alabama!
Auburn, coached by Pat Dye, a Bryant disciple, posed the first scoring threat with a 55-yard return. Bryant counseled his quarterback, Allen Gray, and the wisdom of his admonitions delivered instant results. Gray sped through the Auburn secondary for 63 yards. A winning combination of plays gave Alabama the edge, and Geyer and Bryant their next team-building topic.
Coach Bryant, over the many years that you've coached football, you've developed many winning combinations of people. Can you tell us something about the people that you've selected?
Well, actually, John, I think that the people that you're surrounded with is going to make or break you. And it's been my practice to try to get people that football meant something to, that winning meant something to. I mean, not only assistant coaches, but secretaries, ticket takers. I want to mean something to them. But I feel the same way about the people that you're going to work with, players. In the first place, I don't want a sorry person. I want a good person, and I want one that wants to get education. I want one that wants to get a degree. I want one that has some pride and has a genuine desire to excel. We want them to know what they can expect of us. First of all, we want respect to them. We want them to work every day, try to be a little better student. We want to work a little every day, try to be a little better person, and every day try to be a little better football player. And if they do that, they're going to do pretty well, and they're going to be better in all 3 areas of life, which is spiritual, mental, and physical. We tell them, and I mean this, that we want somebody that's special. It's a special kind of person. And we don't want, now that player said to me, well, I just want to be like any other student. We don't want them like any other student. They can't do the job of keeping up academically and athletically and do a little courting. They're all going to do that. You're not going to beat the girls. And if they go over there and make sacrifices, as we'll say, that they don't go to the parties, they don't do this or that, because they're afraid I'm going to punish them if they do, that's no good. But if they take pride in the fact that they can do without those things because getting their education in football is worth it, well then we'll do some business.
After you've done your recruiting, your selecting, getting those people here on the campus, what do you tell them in the first few days of practice?
The first thing that I want them to know is that we're honest, that they can count on us being honest, they can count on us being fair. Now, I've heard coaches say, well, I treat everybody alike. Well, I don't treat everybody alike. Everybody has a different personality, but I treat everyone fairly. I want them to know we care, and I do care. You got to win their confidence. They got to have some confidence and win their trust, or you're not going to be able to motivate them to do anything else. And back to that care business. Used to, I didn't ever tell them. I tell them now, if I can't love you, pat you, and brag on you, I don't want you.
Paul Bryant has been quoted as saying, I ain't nothing but a winner. How do you win?
Well, that's a difficult question, John. You have to have something to build to. You don't want to build. You go out and build a building. You don't want to put an old sorry foundation to it. You want something solid, and that's the way you build a football team. And I've done that. I want solid people. I want people that dedicated to football. People that believe in my plan. People that want to play for Alabama or whatever. Do whatever that's just sacrifice, discipline themselves, do whatever necessary. You get those, you build to them, then they become your leaders. And some of them become winners, and you keep building to it, building to it. You may not do too well the first year, second year, but you keep building that. And if they believe in you and your staff believes in you, then you're going to get there. I've always thought we could win. The question was how long it'd take.
What are the qualifications you look for in an assistant football coach?
I want coaches that are brighter than I am. If they're the same, if they're not brighter than I am, I don't need them. I don't want one that don't believe in my plan, because I know how to win. I'm not much coach. I used to be a good coach, but I know how to win. When I believe in my plan so strongly that I'm not going to compromise that. Some assistant coaches are excellent on the blackboard. In other words, they can get on the blackboard and do a real fine selling job. Others can do a real great selling job on the field, or all it is a selling job anyway. A lot of them, most of them, and the ones I like, can do both.
You're very directive, very strong personality. You also have people on your staff that I would say be very, very strong. You got strength against strength. How does that work out?
John, I don't think there's anything as strength against strength because I'm the boss. That worked for me. But there ain't no such thing in me and the coaches argue, because I want them to express themselves, for all of them. But when they express themselves, well, when they walk out of there, if they want to stay here, they're going to do it the way we agreed that we're going to do it. And I'm going to have the last say.
When you select that coach and you know that someday he's going to leave you, what kind of development do you give to that coach? Do you work
I try to help them get jobs. They know that. I try to help them get jobs. I love to lose them. I love for them to get a better job. That's the name of the game.
Coach, does Alabama win because you've got more good players than other teams?
I think that a lot of coaches do a better job with great players than I do. But those in between, those not, but don't know it, I'm a champion with them.
Why do you think you're so successful with in-betweeners?
You take those little rascals, thought they were good, and pat them on the back, let them think they were good, and then they'd beat the big ones. I think if we win, that the determining factor is those in between, the guys that might fall in one category, but they think they're good enough to win, they go out and win.
How do you work with a Joe Namath? Here's someone with tremendous talent.
Well, Joe was more mature than most people. He knew more football. He had great high school coaching. He had more talent than anyone I've ever been around. The greatest athlete I've ever seen. He had some adjusting to do when he first came here. He had some adjusting to do later. As a matter of fact, I had to, penalize him once. He did something that against our rules, and I suspended him. It's the most difficult thing I ever had to do in football, I'll tell you that. I think maybe it helped Joe over the long haul, because he's the most loyal guy in the world. To the people he's known a long time, I think he's loyal. I think he's one of the friends I have now. During the season, I appoint captains. And I do that for two reasons. A lot of times you elect captains and it ruins them. And it hurts someone else's feel. I point different ones because I want a lot of leadership. Then when the season is over, then the team elects a captain. And when he came back the next year, we elected captain in the name of God. I counted votes, so I know the name of God. Every vote was his.
44 of Bryant's pupils have become head coaches, but only 5 times in 39 contests have they beaten the master. The Auburn wishbone, a mirror image of the Alabama offense, sent shockwaves reverberating across Legion Field as the War Eagles struck suddenly to tie the game. Bryant, 3 times Coach of the Year and winner of 6 national championships at Alabama, retreated to the locker room at halftime, haunted by the specter of his 315th victory, failing to become a reality.
What do you do when your team is down at the half? Are you the kind of person who believes in inspiration, getting them up?
No, I don't think I can do that. We might do it once in a lifetime. Rockney did it, I guess. No point getting there and raising hell with them then. It's too late. You got to join them. But I had one experience I'd like to tell you about that I really enjoyed. We were playing Tennessee a couple of years ago, and we got out there, and they got us down 17-0. And we went into half, and it was perfect for me. I knew what I was going to say. And I told them, and I meant it. I said, I'm so tickled to death. I'm just so happy that we're behind and we're in this position. We're going to see how much class we got. We're going to see how good we are. If we're not good enough, if we're good enough, we go back and beat them. If we're not, well, we'll find out. Fortunately, they went back and beat them. I think they felt the same way. I don't think what I said meant anything to them. They felt the same way. I just reminded them that they could find out how much class they had and how good they were, and they did. The thing that I think is so important in our football, that I ask them all the week, have a plan for anything can happen. So suppose you go out there and they run an old kickoff back on you for a touchdown. What's your plan? What you going to do? You going to fold up or you going to come after them? What are you going to do if you make a mistake? What are you going to do if you get a penalty? Just have a plan for everything. I try to sell our players on the fact that we're going to rehearse all the little things, everything that could happen. Expected, unexpected, I go back to. I think it's important because if a youngster gets in that situation, he's rehearsed it. He's been there. So as a result, we talk about the little things, the big things. Little things will win the game.
Few among the 80,000 in attendance sought to deny Bryant's victory, but many preferred it would come on another day. The third period stalemate was shattered when Ken Coley collaborated with Jesse Bendros on a clever shovel pass, which put the Tide in front 14-7.
And when I talk with the squad, I always start out with it was something that they did well. But we're not a team, we're not doing this, but we got this to fall back on. There's always tomorrow. And tomorrow is the first day of the rest of our life. Now, today's the first day of the rest of your life. What you've been waiting for. Let's try to get a little quicker, a little better every play. Everybody concentrate a little better every play. Last period will be better than the first period. All right, let's take some quickness right quick. Every play, every man.
Is it ever good to lose?
Well, I think so. Now, I think you learn a lot more and you teach a lot more winning than you do losing. On the other hand, if you've never lost, you don't know how to lose. You may not know how to lose with dignity. We want ours to be humble when they win. Lose, we want to lose with dignity. We'll hold their head high and do it in a dignified way. And then I think we have a chance of coming back and gain from the experience and become better.
Each year you give them confidence that they need. That's crucial, isn't it?
Well, I try to give them confidence, but to give them confidence, they got to get the confidence by performing in practice and in the games when they get to playing games. I can come in and talk to a kid and talk about how good he is. That's not a thing. If I come in and say, boy, you did a great job today, drills and mention some of them, then he'll come and get confidence. And he goes out and he's lined up against an all-conference guy, an all-American something every day, and he gets to where he can lose half the time. Well, he'll get confidence. I think another thing is that's important in coaching out there is that you let a guy win sometime. You know, if you have drills all afternoon and the guy never wins, every time he lines up, he gets whipped. You got to let him win sometime. I want to get him doing something sometime where he wins, where he feels good about it. I think that's important. But there's lots you can learn on the football field. It's not taught in the house, the church, the classroom. And I'm a pretty good example of that. And I think we do a great job of teaching that here. The work for us, but we know how to teach them to work. They discipline themselves. If they didn't do one other thing, they just learn to discipline themselves and to sacrifice. And that doesn't come easy either. And to fight.
What do you mean by fight?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Cat. You know, Lloyd Hale, who's a great little center we had today in him, but he asked me that one time, and I said, Lloyd, I tell you, I said, about 15 years, you back out here in West Texas, and got a home up there that's not paid for, and you drive an old truck in to see your banker where a note's overdue, and you get in there and he won't renew it. And you go back home and lo and behold, your house burned down and your wife done run off with a drummer. I said, you better know how to fight.
It was time for Bryant's Chargers to fight and implement his strategies, which they did with remarkable assuredness. Walter Lewis, the third Alabama quarterback to perform so admirably in this game, delivered the ball to a wide-open Jesse Bendros. Bryant's winning attitude crested for the Crimson Tide. Bama surged back to recapture the advantage by utilizing the big play.
You know, it's a funny thing about football. You know, you win a game in one play, but you never know when that's going to happen.
So you prepare your people for the big play.
If they're trying to win the game on every play, they'll make the big play. A tough game, a tight football game, it'll be 5 or 7 big plays and they'll win the game. But you don't know when they're coming. And if you're not trying to win on every play, you may or you may not make them.
How would Paul Bryant like to be remembered?
Well, first place, I'd like for my players and coaches to remember me as someone that honestly tried to help them in all 3 areas of life. I'd like to be thought of by my players and coaches as having had an impact on their life that maybe help them down the road, and I think I have, I will. But I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
The scenario was vintage Bryant. Alabama, employing numerous players, wearing Auburn down, coming from behind to win with class. It was ironic that this milestone victory should represent a microcosm of Bryant's all-conquering style, for it encapsulated all the component parts of the Bears' philosophy. The winning combination of people, armed with a winning plan, and performing with a positive winning attitude, gave Bryant his team-oriented 315th victory and made him the winningest football coach in collegiate history.